Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, sending out a lot of love. This is every unique Primarch power explained by an Australian Warhammer 40k lore by Majorkill. Majorkill, shout out to you, Majorkill. If you want me to take down my video, I do not mind. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, how you doing? This is every unique Primarch. Let's go. Let's just get right into it. Like,
and give them meaning.
What the Majorkill? Come on now, man. Alright. That's the type of day it is, guys and girls. If you want to subscribe. Shit, you know what? If you want to, let's say dislike first. If you want to dislike the video, dislike it. If you want to like it, like it. If you want to share it with your mates. If you want to tell people, hey, Lunar is a madman YouTuber. Hey, man, do everything. Do all those, all the above. It's just one of those days. It's been a hard day. I didn't even get my 6 videos off the list that I wanted to shoot, so I'm just shooting this for y'all. I picked the Warhammer 40k base over everyone else that watches the channel. So everyone else who watches the channel today, I'm pampering the Warhammer 40k. Alright guys, let's go.
G'day guys and gal. In your life, you will achieve many things. You will help people. You will make people laugh, smile, give them hope and give them meaning. And maybe, just maybe, one or two of you might even make a girl come. However, nothing you do in your life will ever even amount to the significance of a cum stain on a public toilet when compared to the achievements of a Primarch. Should you feel bad about this? No, because they aren't real. But more importantly, they were born with slick special superpowers. As we know, each Primarch has their special Primarch source. Stuff like super strength, intelligence, and willpower are the basic guidelines to make a demigod. However, Primarchs are more than that, with each Primarch having a number of their own little spicy powers that are completely unique to them. Some of these are pretty obvious, like Magnus's warp powers or Lehman's concerning obsession with wolves. However, others are a lot more subtle. Did you know that?
So all I got right there was one was a psyker and one was a wolf tamer. Nothing special yet. Show me the spice.
Fulgrim's regeneration is significantly faster than all the other Primarchs, bar Vulcans. Bet you didn't know that, which means this video is valuable to you. It's not that valuable, but still a little bit, so keep watching. Lads and lady, it's been an incredible year.
He said lads and lady. Singular. Oh, guys, okay. All right, here we go. Here we go.
It's awesome to see that we're still having great growth and momentum, but Arch needs to eat our dust, and he's got to do it now. Arch. So if you laugh, smile, learn something new, or hope democracy prevails in Myanmar, then consider hitting that juicy red button. I have something a little cheeky planned for when we overtake Arch that I know you'll like. Today we'll go over each of the Primarch's unique abilities.
Stay hydrated.
Providing examples of when they were used and how powerful those abilities were.
Let's get it, come on,
this is all going to be before
Majorkill.
Chaos claimed half the Primarchs, so Angron having demon wings or Fulgrim having like 8 tits doesn't count. Let's get into it. Starting us off with Primarch number 1, because chronological order is a vibe. We have the Lancelot Johnson. Now Mr. Johnson is a Space Knight, which is already awesome, but not necessarily a special power, even though all of his other powers kinda stem from that. Firstly, he's a god tier swordsman and duelist.
So far, this first Primarch is sounding just like me. I'm just gonna throw that out there. A Space Knight? Oh my gosh. For the order. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But he also just looks like a beast tamer. Come on now. He's even got, look at, he's even got his precious little two, I can't call these, are these saber-toothed cats? They look like they've got alligator-like or dragon-like scaling. I don't know, but this is a dope picture. Why, like, I noticed that with all the Warhammer 40k pictures. They're just fucking beautiful art. Like, it's, like, so cool.
Able to fight without conscious thought. He can change sword swings mid-swing based on gut instinct, which is why he was at...
What does he do? Okay, so I'm not gonna take out that sword, but like, what he's like this. He's like he goes to swing, and then he's like what? What? He's like what? I don't even understand that. Mid swing. Yeah. I'm just having fun.
To beat Conrad Curse in a fair duel, despite Conrad being able to see the future. Conrad would foresee a downward slice, prepare to counter, then the lion's instinctual power would detect the counter before it happened, and it would change the slice to a sideways one, hence cutting out.
That is so dope. And no lie, it sounds like I want to say it sounds like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I don't know. No, it sounds like I don't know if a lot of people are going to get this reference. If you don't, just continue. But just know, if you don't get this reference, you're a sad, sad human being for not watching One Piece. Oh, I can't even spoil. Oh, spoilers for One Piece. The fight between Luffy and Katakuri. Luffy basically, though being a rubberized, super heated punch or whatever the fuck, Katakuri could see the future. And Luffy was so fast, his hands were just so fast that every, like, I think it was like every corner it turned, it was like, I guess it was like not unpredictable strikes, but it just was so fast that it kind of sounds like the Slash. Like, literally the direction of the strike would change as soon as Katakuri could, like, see the future where it was gonna strike. Then it would, like, ping, 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 and then it would come around from, like, an angle. It's kind of like, okay, if you know the fight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just not doing a great job of explaining it. Today's just a weird day.
Out a chunk of deranged Batman. Yeah, Conrad wasn't a huge fan of that ability. Whilst the lion isn't explicitly a psyker, his spirit is very prominent. It's very how you doing. As he grew up in a chaos monster infested forest where he hunted mutated demon beasts for fun,
it's not
he'd grown
Catachan, is it?
extremely resistant to chaos. So much so that when Kairos Fateweaver, who like knows everything, came to the lion to try turn him to chaos, he realized that there was absolutely nothing he could say or do that would even make the lion hesitate. Then the lion fucked him up and sent him back to hell. Another example of the lion's obscene fortitude is when a million-year-old Super Psycho Xeno invaded his mind, which is, you know, something it specializes in and has been training to do for 1,000,000 years. However, the lion was just able to fuck the Xeno to death with pure willpower. This enhanced spirit and willpower.
The way he described that, oh my gosh, it was so descriptive in a way that it just built the weirdest image in my head, fucking the Xeno to death, but with willpower. But what I want after this video, put the Primarch that you think you would be down below. And if you got a homebrewed one, can is it like that? Can you like homebrew your own type of Primarch? Is it kind of like, is Warhammer 40k kind of like D&D in that way, where you can take the lore and just kind of add on to it? Or is it just like, okay, you know, let's just go.
Power even allows the lion
I suppose you can. It'd be like you're kind of like
maybe permakill demons, and it gives him more presence than even Horus.
Can't do that with
Loyalty
anything.
is its own reward. On to number 2 now. We have one of the missing Primarchs.
I never understand
whose
that
superpower
meme.
is his ability to play hide and seek.
That's like supposed to be like the Zodiac
Still
killer.
haven't found him. Number 3 is everyone's favorite pedo snake, Fulgrim. Fulgrim's power was the fact that he was pretty. No, like, I'm serious. When he was found after crash landing on the planet, the people were like, we cannot feed this boy, let's kill him. But then they were like, oh no, he's hot. So they let him live. Fulgrim doesn't have too many special abilities, which, you know, shows. But
So wait, so that the fact that he's pretty, can he stop chaos from invading his mind because he's just too damn sexy?
one thing people often overlook is his insane regeneration powers, even compared to other Primarchs. Like, he gets shot in the eye with an extremely high caliber sniper rifle, something which would definitely kill or at least severely maim a lot of the other Primarchs, and he just kind of walks it off. Once when he was doing a ritual where he needed to have shit carved into his flesh, he had to focus on slowing down his healing factor because the carvings kept healing before the ritual could be finished. But yeah, Fulgrim's a fucking dipshit for picking up that sword. On to number 4, we have Permaturbo, who was given some kinda shit superpowers that he resented a lot. Like, it seems as if the Emperor was just taking the piss here.
Damn.
Basically, Perty can always see the Eye of Terror, which sucks because it's not a nice thing to look at. Especially when he was young and didn't know what it was. It seemed like an evil god was staring at him all the time, which made him super paranoid. Another power, which seems good but kinda isn't, is that Perty inherently understands almost everything. He can look at something and automatically figure out what it is, how it's made, and how it works, and how to improve it. There is no joy of discovery or learning for him. Poor Baba. Another thing, which he added in himself, but will still count, is that he basically put a computer in his head, which allows him to view and play battles like an RTS game. The more I learn about Perturabo, the more I realize there is a Perturabo in all of us. Rather that than a Fulgrim in me. Number 5 is Jagadai Khan. Other than being the token Asian, Jagadai is incredibly fast.
He looks cool.
Like, he is the speed. He can tap into the speed force to go Super Saiyan speed in times of rage. Like, one time, one of his space marines died, and he
About the last guy, the comments I have on him is that just fucking sucks. Imagine. So if you're an overthinker, you already understand this kind of thing. Imagine looking at something like I could imagine, because when I was a horribly what do I even say? Inflicted with the thought pattern of an overthinker. Oh my goodness gracious. It was kind of like looking at everything and trying to understand everything. So I could understand him looking at everything and understanding everything. That's just ridiculous. Damn, I feel like that line just hit so hard to me, but
got so mad that he began killing orcs so fast and viciously that the orcs weren't even enjoying it at all and they wanted to run. That's
Damn.
right. The Khan was so fast that he made orcs dislike fighting.
yeah, I was about to say that. Damn, he made orcs dislike fighting. Like, they love having, come on, big orc. They're just having fun. Family reunions when they meet a bunch of other orcs. This dude made them run.
The Khan is also able to kill ghosts, which is, a bit random, but it still counts. A final note is that Jagadai's
I'm gonna run that back.
So fast that he made orcs dislike fighting. The Khan is also able to kill ghosts, which is...
Oh, he's able to kill ghosts? Run so fast. That makes sense to me in a way if we're talking about the speed force.
a bit random, but it still counts.
It is random,
A
though.
final note is that Jagadai is arguably the most reasonable out of all the Primarchs. Like when the heresy broke out and he listened to both sides' arguments, he was like, "Traitors, I understand where you are coming from. Father is a dickhead, a tyrant, but you guys are fighting for demons of hell, so I am not going to join you." That's probably the most reasonable way to look at it, in my opinion. On to number 6, we have the Leman of Russ, the Wolf
here he
King,
is, the Wolf
man
King.
who howls unironically. Now the obvious one here is the Cainix Helix, which gives Russ increased savagery, heightened senses, sharper teeth, and huge resistance to the warp. Like some space souls will allow themselves to become wolfen so that they can withstand huge amounts of chaos without falling. Whilst Russ is anti-psyker, he can still tap into his spirit and communicate with the warp and scry using runes and other definitely not warp powers. Russ can also
I don't know why, but I really enjoyed how Majorkill just said all that.
also let out a warp disrupting howl, which he did so to Magnus in order to help overpower Magnus before fucking up his back. Number 7 gives us the rogueliest of
He was pretty dope.
Dawns. Having lots of special powers doesn't make a Primarch better or more impactful. The fact that Dawn only has one subtle power, that being his ability to silence and push back the warp with his willpower, doesn't mean he is weaker than Perturabo, who has like 4 or 5 powers. In fact, it's the opposite. By Rogel not having innate OP powers, he has to work harder to improve himself, hence why
There is always this character in every work of fucking... Like, it makes sense though, because then there's also people like this in real life. But I don't understand. When it comes to just fiction, that shit is just really interesting to me. There's always the character that amongst the group of superpowered people who has to work really hard though.
is a top-tier swordsman, commander, and an all-round dude, even compared to the rest of the Primarchs.
It seems like if this is like, I'm assuming every image so far has been of the real Primarch, clearly. Why wouldn't it be? Come on.
On to number 8, we have Space Batman, with extra bats and no sense of morality or likability. Conrad Curse. Conrad is a good example of having too many powers, as it has literally broken his mind. He has an incredibly powerful precognitive ability, able to see events years in the future or mere seconds away. A downside to this is that his visions were harsh and they hurt his brain. As he got better
I can second that. Visions are not fun.
at using it, it also caused more damage to his sanity. He foresaw the Horus heresy and the death of various Primarchs years ahead of time, and he could also use this power to time when to jump out of a ship so he wouldn't die. Another power of his is his stealth abilities. he can merge with shadows and become nearly invisible. It's not as good as Korax's invisibility, but it's still decent, and it helps him pull off some gnarly ambushes. But yeah, I'd take a working brain over that shit any day. Number 9 is the Space Angel, who also had solid cognitive abilities, but he wasn't a whiny little bitch about it.
Is this Sanguinius?
Sanguinius.
Hey, I fucking actually remember something in the fucking lore. And I'm pretty sure the one before, this is a Night Lord, right? I'm probably wrong. I'm probably gonna get roasted. But why? Because this screen right here is familiar to me. I'm pretty sure it was in Voldemort's Night Lord video, but I can't remember.
Now before we get into Sangi's foresight,
don't roast me.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Motherfucker has wings. He uses those wings to fly, but also kinda not. See, his wings, according to physics, are not enough to get him off the ground. Hence he is flying using warp magic, and his wings are just there to make it not look weird. His foresight is slightly less powerful than Conrad's, but it doesn't scramble his brain. It works in a very similar way. Sanguinius foresaw his death well into the future, but he also foresaw that a duel that he was about to have with Curse could kill either of them, hence he didn't proceed with it. Another less known power of Sangi's was his ability to bend reality to his will in subtle ways.
Cool.
When his flagship is crashing and should be breaking up and exploding, he wills it to survive the crash, and he basically holds the ship together through manifesting his desired reality.
Oh shit,
his duel with Horus is another example. Sangi foresaw the duel, and he accepted it as his fate, hence reality bent to make it happen. If he was like, nah, fuck that, then it's unlikely it would have happened.
It would have happened.
Number 10, the halfway there Primarch is Ferrous the Manus. Sadly, Ferrous didn't get a whole lot of screen time, because, you know, he got decapitated, but he still displayed some cool powers.
How the fuck do you decapitate something like this? Like, something cut through, like, this right here, and this right here, and this right here, and these? Like, well, I mean, you would have to only come from one side, I guess. Oh, unless it was, like, forward, but still, this whole neck protector, this literally looks like it's to prevent decapitations, but alright.
His innate knowledge of forging and engineering was insane, and it only grew more powerful when he bashed up what...
So he's the Hephaestus of this world. He's the Hephaestus of the Primarchs. I don't even know if I'm saying the name of the forge, whatever Smith god in Greece is. I'm hurt. I'm over here thinking, really, to be fair, I'm really thinking about who I'm going to say. I think I kind of mess with Sanguinius. I think I like Sanguinius, but let's keep going.
Could have been a Catan shard and absorbed its necrodermis into his arms and central nervous system. Yeah, the metal arms were pretty cool and they gave him a serious buff. But yeah, a bit of head choppy kind of cuts his lore short. Number 11 is the other missing Primarch, who is a master of Where's Wally, except that he is Wally and it's this page. Number 12 is the angry Angron, who has nails in his fucking brain. Worst superpower ever. Originally, Angron was an empath who could absorb and ease the sufferings of those around him, which he did to help his fellow gladiators sleep. But yeah, that ability kind of vanished when all he felt was suffering after getting the old brain nails. The brain nails also might have totally severed his connection to the warp, making him lose any other potential Primarch powers, as well as making him lose his Primarch aura, which is the thing that makes Space Marines shake in their boots whenever a Primarch is nearby. Yeah, the World Eaters fucking hated Angron. Number 13 is the big G-Man, Giliman, the robot of Utes. Giliman has like no superpowers. His strength, speed, combat ability, and commanding skills are all decent, but not abnormally powerful. What he does have, however, is some mint-ass organization skills. And in a galaxy full of constant war and suffering, being organized gives you a huge edge over everyone else. What is Conrad's shadow-stalking powers compared to Gilliman's ability to muster an armada within days? What is Jagadai's speed compared to a well-supplied and well-trained army? Each Primarch's abilities serve to make them a raid boss.
Though, I mean, Conrad, the future sight kind of guy, and Sanguinius would kind of see this coming if they were on opposite sides. So, I mean, some of that is true, but I'm not actually sure. Let's just keep going.
Whilst Gilliman's organizational abilities turns his armies into raid bosses. Just look at the effect Giliman has had since returning to the setting. During the Horus Heresy, the trader's goal was to delay Giliman from reaching Terra, The
But he
goal was
reached
never to
it?
turn up to Chaos or beat his armies because both of them weren't going to happen. On to number 14, we have
That's
Morty,
badass.
that smelly piece of shit. Morty was unusually tanky and could endure severe punishment. He also had an aura.
His name is Morty, like Morty. That's interesting. Isn't there a word like a wait? Yeah, his name is Morty. Wait, let me just see.
Which
What is
was
it?
unusual. On to number 14, we have Morty, that smelly.
Morty. All right, correct me down below if his name is Morty, but it's funny because I looked up the word, which came to mind was mortician, and their funeral directors, also known as undertaker. What in British English? Wow, I just thought that was funny with his name being Morty. Like it looks like he has a scythe. He looks like the Reaper. I see the play on words here. Like just to play. Listen, anyways. Whatever.
Piece of shit. Morty was unusually tanky and could endure severe punishment. He also had an aura which gradually exhausted people, even ones that generally were immune to exhaustion. For example, in his fight against the Khan landed a lot more hits, but Morty was able to tank them whilst gradually wearing the Khan out.
Oh,
He
damn.
can also endure significantly more poison and toxins than the other Primarchs,
It looks
but at
like
the
it.
cost of looking like an ugly-ass motherfucker. He also had a surprisingly solid stealth ability and could sneak past most people. And he was a psyker, but like, who cares? Number 15 is
fucking
Big
huge.
Red. Magnus the Big Red.
Big Red.
Obviously, this dude's a wizard. Great wizard, shit listener. He can also change his size depending on the situation. Need to punch a titan to death? No worries. Needs to get through a low door frame? No worries. Another ability is that his appearance changes depends how he's feeling. And he's not just the psyker, he's literally made of the warp. Like when Lehman snapped his spine, he didn't put Magnus in a wheelchair or physically disable him. He broke his soul. Probably would have rathered the wheelchair, but oh well.
I don't know why I just loved that description. That shit was funny. Just the fact of him being a wizard and then him being one of those pencils that him being like a fucking living mood ring, and then the fact that he just said like, man, I don't know. It went from like magic tricks to literally breaking souls.
His soul. Probably would have rathered. Like when Lehman snapped his spine, he didn't put Magnus in a wheelchair or physically disable him. He broke his soul. Probably would have rathered the wheelchair, but oh well. Number 16, we have the big man, Horus. I'd like to say that male pattern baldness is his power, but it seems like half the Primarchs have it. Horus was a legendary warrior commander, but that isn't very special. What is special is his supernatural levels of charisma. After all, this dude convinced 9 Primarchs, beings of supreme intellect, as well as a ton of space marines, which are known for their genius IQs, to willingly sell their souls to the forces of hell and rebel against the Emperor for some pretty unconvincing reasons. Primarch 17 is the kitty fiddler, Lorga. Lorga was and still is the runt of the litter, but he did develop some snazzy skills over time. He unlocked these Saga powers, which whilst they couldn't compare to Magnus's, still came in pretty hot. He too has some pretty significant charismatic powers, as he was able to convert multiple planets to a new religion in only a couple years. That charisma extends to his sons, who are unusually loyal to Lorga, even for Space Marines. For example, when the traitors rebelled, each traitor legion had to cull about 1/3 of their legion due to loyalty issues. Lorga didn't have to do this. In fact, when he did cull a portion of his legion, it wasn't due to loyalty issues, it was because he just didn't like them that much. Primarch 18 is Vulcan, who is stacked. Vulcan is the biggest Primarch, and arguably the strongest. He also cannot die, as he is a perpetual. Vulcan has been killed in thousands of creative and over-the-top ways, and he's always regenerated. He's also a master craftsman and can make fucking wild shit that no one else can make.
Master craftsman, he's an MC.
Even if they were shown how
The hottest Primarch on the mic. Look at literally.
to. Vulcan's greatest power, however, is that he is a good person. The Emperor was so proud of Vulcan.
I think there's a bunch of comments, because there's a lot of comments coming through on the channel now, but that said something about Vulcan, and I think it had to do, obviously, the green and everything and the salamander type shit. It had to do with the salamanders.
To see that Vulcan maintained his humility when it seemed like all the other Primarchs had lost theirs. Give this man a hug. Primarch 19 is...
Okay. There's a lot of background noise at this part when I got to this part, so let me just recap and re-jump in. He's pretty cool. I kind of want to be Vulcan. It's between... It's actually... Lorga was kind of getting me a little bit, but I kind of want to just... I kind of like Vulcan. Sanguinius and Vulcan are catching me. Or even Horus. But kind of Sanguinius and Vulcan so far. And then we're going to leave off from here, so let's go.
When it seemed like all the other Primarchs had lost theirs. Give this man a hug. Primarch 19 is the Raven. Corvus Corax. Corvus is a spooky dude with some spooky powers. He can straight up turn invisible, even in broad daylight, and he uses his ability to survive the Istvan dropsite massacre. Corvus can also smell chaos corruption, as he killed a word bearer that was attached to his legion after detecting it within him. By far his coolest power though, actually no, by far the coolest power out of all the Primarchs, is his ability to transform into a gigantic shadow demon and wreck everyone's shit. One of the last times we see Corvus, he beats the shit out of Lorga, again, by using this demonic shadow raven form, and by God, I'd love to see a tabletop model of it one day.
That'd be awesome.
Fuck it, maybe I'll just get one made. I'll call it Raven. And finally, number 20, Alvarez and Amigon. Other than their ability to scramble my brain whenever I think about them, these dudes can give their blood to their sons. This greatly empowers their son, and it makes them think that they are Alvarez, hence why Alvarez seems to have died like 10 times now. These Primarchs can also hide their Primarch aura and blend it with normal space marines. Alvarez was present for most of the Emperor's meetings with each Primarch, but he was able to go unnoticed in the crowd. It's funny to think that as all the Primarchs come from the Emperor's DNA, hence the Biggie has access to all of their powers. OP is shit.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon...
It's too late. Couldn't stop you, Majorkill, but those two seem pretty cool. Yeah, I like their armor, how they got it seems like Hydra heads. I don't know. It's pretty cool. If these are Hydra heads, I could kind of see the... Let's say the way I take it is with the Hydra heads, if they can give their blood to their sons, that's pretty cool because it's the multiple heads of a Hydra. If you think about it, in the way of giving their blood, creating more heads, but that's not how it happens with a Hydra. But you know what I'm saying. Anyways, that was pretty cool. Nice video. Shout out to everyone. Much love and light. Shout out to Majorkill. I'm out of here. What else do I want to say? Oh, guys, we're almost at 1,000 subs. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on. Breaking the matrix one step at a time.